Do you know ask him in Spanish, what is the derivative of the word news?
Gracias, Daniel, por esta maravillosa oportunidad. Bienvenido. Colombia te saluda. Y bueno, yo te quiero preguntar sobre toda tu filmografía, que se trata sobre cuál es la perspectiva que tienes sobre el lenguaje cinematográfico respecto al amor del cine, a una película que la verdad es increíble.
Okay, first, Jhon said that Colombia welcomes you. We really admire your career. And the first question has to do about the love for cinema. What is the perspective, the cinematographic perspective about the language of love on the movies? This is based on your movie, The Wisdom to Know the Difference.
Wow. Well, many years ago in the 1960s, my father was a school teacher and a football coach. And so he wanted to film the team they were going to play the next week so they could study the team. And we had those movies, the high school football movies, and we played them in our backyard, and all the kids would come to our backyard and watch the movies. We'd have cupcakes and ice cream and do the things kids do. And we fell in love with the idea of making movies. So from 1966 to 1972, Alec and I made 25 hour-long feature films. And we just kept wearing my mother's wigs and her clothes, and he'd chase me and kill me. And we understood even at that time that we had to shoot in sequence. We had to edit in the can. So there's where the love affair started for me. I can remember being in sports in high school and my friends saying they were going out to have a beer or whatever after practice, and I'd say, no, I have to go to rehearsal. And they would make fun of me. They go, what are you going to be, an actor, Baldy? Come on, Baldy. And it turned out it worked out okay, that things ended up going well. But I think it all starts with a story. It starts with the script. It starts with an idea. It starts with a passion of wanting to tell a story. It can be a real story. It can be a made-up story, but there has to be something that you love about the story, that you feel that strongly that it needs to be told.
We decided that I will only translate the question, not the answer, so you can talk freely, and that's a beautiful answer.
Thank you, Master. También está la película Fall, que es una de las películas más emblemáticas tuyas que has dirigido, pero la particularidad de ella es que muestra el lado cruel de la justicia. ¿Cree que esta película, que lleva tanto tiempo, se asemeja a un lado futurístico de lo que sucede hoy día, las injusticias en los países, las diferencias raciales, la mafia? ¿Qué opinas?
You directed the movie Fall. It's about the cruel side of justice. Do you think that this movie, from many years ago, is like a portrait of the things that happen in the world right now?
There's so many, that's a very broad question, and there's so many things happening, from viruses to plummeting currencies and famine, and there's just natural disasters that are starting to overtake us now, some to do with neglect that we've had for Mother Earth. But I'd say that the most devastating thing to me, when I was a boy and I would sit with my father and we would watch the news. We watched the news and we thought that Walter Cronkite or Brett Hume or whoever the anchorman was telling you what he believed to be the truth. So we had an option to side Republican, Democrat, whatever it was, Jewish, Catholic, it didn't matter what the issue was. We felt that we were getting accurate information, and then we were going to elect the person that we felt most was responsible for what we felt was true and real and needed. No longer do I have confidence in that process. No longer do I believe that what's being reported to me isn't slighted to a political affiliation or to an agenda. That makes it very sad for me, because how do I decide? If the information isn't true, then then how is it that I'm supposed to come up to a conclusion that works for me and my family? And I don't have that confidence anymore that what I'm being told is true. But I will ask you this for your listening audience. The word news, if you ask the average anchorman, if you ask the average person in the news business, do they know what the word news, where it came from? Do you? Do you know where ask him in Spanish, what is the derivative of the word news?
I will translate right now.
Go ahead.
Okay, John, este favor me lo pidió el maestro porque dio una versión sobre lo que era el creer antes las noticias, o sea, lo que te decía una persona como Walter Cronkite era la verdad. Dice que ya no cree en eso. Me pidió hacerle esta pregunta a los que escuchan en español. ¿Qué tú crees que las noticias, que las personas que te están dando las noticias en realidad saben lo que son las noticias? Esa es la pregunta que nos deja. Le dirá al maestro que ya trajo. I did the question in Spanish. Thank you.
Wow, qué pregunta. Gracias, maestro, por esto. La verdad es muy difícil, pero es muy cierta. También yo quisiera preguntarte sobre el documental de My Promise to PG que habla sobre la amistad. No, o sea, de mi personal, este documental hizo pues sacarme una lágrima, ciertamente, por el valor de este significado. ¿Qué significa para ti la amistad?
You know that the people that watch the documentary My Promise to PJ, they end up or crying or feeling, knowing what is the friendship. But for you, how do you define friendship?
Friendship for me is when you're willing to put that person before yourself. And the answer to the question I asked you, where does news come from? It comes from everywhere, correct? News, north, east, west, south. That's where the word news came from, because of north, east, west, and south. News, it comes from everywhere in the world.
And that answer in Spanish, I don't know how to define it, but I really understand it for the, the meaning of the words in English. But I will translate that to the people in Colombia to know that. Que él nos da también la respuesta. Dice que, bueno, que la amistad para él es poner a esa persona por delante de la otra, pero lo del resignificado de la palabra noticias, claro, N, norte, en inglés, ¿no? E, este, it's, W, west, oeste, S, south, sur. News es norte, este, oeste y sur.
Mark, I'm doing an interview in Colombia.
Yes, Mark.
Mark, come here.
Yes,
Hey,
come here.
I have the editor of Wisdom to Know the Difference here.
Please, invite Jhon es el
come on.
editor del documental.
Hey,
Mark,
Mark, how are
We
you,
were
man?
Okay, how you doing?
we were Jhon, welcome to Colombia. In fact, Jhon was saying, and it's your fault, that he cried watching the documentary.
Amazing.
So, man, no, an amazing work, and it's an honor to have you here. In fact, if you wanna, and if Daniel allows it, you can be here also in the interview, ¿cierto? Él puede estar también en la entrevista. Es más, Jhon, ¿quiere hacerlo?
Whatever I can add.
So we're shooting a movie right now in Atlanta, and Mark is editing the film.
Wow, man.
I will translate. Estaban filmando una película en Atlanta y él edita.
Yes, eso es increíble. Yo te pregunto algo, tanto para Daniel y Mar. Primero, para Daniel, Walking Midday. Esa es una película que está próxima. Le pregunto si alguna vez has soñado con algunos de tantos de los personajes que has hecho. Y también le hago la pregunta, pues, a Mar, si de las ediciones has soñado alguna vez.
Okay, this question is for both. Knowing that one of the next projects that is coming is a working miracle, do you have dream with all the many characters that you have made in your career? yes, you had dream with one of them, or you had memories for one of them. And for you, Mark, for all the things that you had edited, there are like a project that you had dreamed, or one of these projects that make you even think, even in your dreams or later when you finish editing. But first, Daniel.
As far as the characters in A Walking Miracle, I would say that it's interesting you would ask that question because Patrick, the character that has the accident and is in a coma for 45 days, I did do some comparisons to when I was in my addiction. And that, as somebody who's sober now, I spent a lot of time kind of in a coma. I mean, I lost a lot of years and I lost a lot of relationships and a lot of things that damaged me. And so I did make that comparison for myself in reading the script the second time I read it. But no, what's more interesting to me is I'm directing my brother Billy, I'm directing my brother Steven, which brings very different circumstances to it when you're dealing with somebody who's your own blood, your own brother. You have to walk a little differently when you're directing them as opposed to another actor where you don't have anywhere near as much of vested interest in them personally. So I would go on to say I'm definitely the only brother that could direct the others. The other three would not have the patience to do what I have to do. That's for sure. Mark?
Or
Okay. I'm going to say I think the most interesting and challenging thing on this particular project is to get inside the mind of the person who's in the coma and to try to imagine what that sounds like to that person, what the world sounds like, because they're not processing it the same way we are. And I wouldn't even assume that there's a universal process. Maybe everybody processes things differently, just like I think my dreams are different than your dreams. Everybody dreams different. And I think his consciousness, while he's in the coma, will be a unique discovery to try to portray that in a profound and emotional way.
wow.
You didn't get to see the boys.
All boys, they are lovely and beautiful.
Beautiful boys.
Giants.
Really, really beautiful. Giants, yeah, giant boys.
Hey, boy. Wow, Daniel, es increíble. También, yo te quiero hacer la última pregunta, que para mí ha sido una fantástica entrevista, pero Andrés, ¿qué quieres decir antes?
No, y toca decirle, porque esa pregunta tiene que ver con alguien que estuvo acá, tú sabes.
Ah,
Nuestro
claro.
amigo.
De
Claro,
hecho,
claro.
yo te quiero preguntar sobre, estás en una situación en peligro. Tienes dos personas que te pueden ayudar. Sale de Tunnel o le pedirías ayuda a Anthony Montoya de Vampires.
I know that you heard Anthony Montoya. In fact, we got the loot to interview here back in the channel to Marc Cerutti. He was in that amazing movie from John Carpenter. And as a final question, if you are in a situation of danger and you need to ask the help to somebody, will be Seal from Tunnel or Anthony Montoya from Vampires?
Oh, you don't want to mess around with Tony Montoya.
Of course.
He's a BMF. He's a bad.
Yes.
Yeah, he's not afraid of
And
anything.
you can say it here. We don't censor.
He's a bad motherfucker for sure.
Yeah, for sure. One of my favorite movies, man. One of my favorite movies. And we are lucky because you are the second person for that movie.
No,
Because he's
Tony
a bad
Montoya.
motherfucker.
Oh, I would have destroyed him. He said, "Are we talking about Tony Montana from Scarface?" I said, "I would have fucked Tony Montana up so fast."
Take it easy, man.
Of course.
Take it easy. Tony Montana, he's the shit, man.
He didn't see vampires.
I didn't see
obviously.
the man. Well, I
Yeah.
did, but a long time ago.
He forgets.
Oh, Scarface. Say hello to my little friend.
But it's crazy because you appear in one of the Oliver Stone movies, Born on the 4th of July.
Yeah.
You can tell us something about that experience? I know it's a short
I'll tell
appearance.
you a great story. Did I ever tell the audition story about Born on the 4th of July?
No, but I didn't know your brother was in that too.
All right. So was Stephen and Billy.
I did, well.
So I'll tell you what. So I'm going to read for Oliver Stone. Okay. And I called Alec up because Alec did talk radio with him. And I said, hey, what's this guy like? And he said, get him. Go after him. He's one of those, loves that mono stuff. I said, hang on a second. This isn't Billy or Steven. You want me to go out? He goes, get him. Go after him. So I walk into the audition and he has 2 chairs in the middle of this room and he's sitting in one chair. And Oliver, he talks like this. And he says, so Danny Baldwin, man, great. You know, Billy Baldwin's in the movie and Stephen Baldwin's in the movie. So I figured, you know, why not get Danny Baldwin? I offered a role to your brother Alec, but he was doing some movie called Beetlejuice and he wasn't available. And I said, are you done? And he looked at me and I said, I didn't come here to talk about my brother's resumes. I came here to read for the movie. Are you done? And he got real quiet and he just looked up at me. Now the scene was my walking Tom Cruise into the Democratic National Convention. So I put my bag down in the seat in front of Stone and I walked behind him and put my hands on his shoulders like I was pushing the wheelchair. And when I gave him the initial push, of course, the chair didn't move. So hold this phone. So literally, this is his head right here. And I went, and I mean, I smacked him a shot right in the side of the head. And he looked back up at me and I went, turn the brake off. And right in character, he bent down, emulating like he was turning the brake off. I did the whole scene behind him. He never saw me say a word. As soon as I got the last word done, I grabbed my bag, I walked out the door. I never said goodbye. I never looked back. He hired me before I got home. There was a message on my sheet. He goes, I don't know what you did with Oliver Stone, but you worked Monday morning. So I hit him in the head.
That's a hit a lot, man. And you you had to say to Tom, that's method acting, man. No, man, amazing. It's also one of my favorite movies. John, yo no sé qué tienes que decir. Para mí esto es
Aplauso.
histórico.
Bravo.
No, le voy a decir que nos sentimos como compadres. Daniel,
Claro.
in talking in Spanish, John was telling me in the chat, we feel like we are compadres, man, and it's amazing because it's really an honor to have you here. Horseman, in fact, both of you will appear on the final picture. Both of you will say, yo creo que ya ahora los saludos.
Okay.
Daniel, the camera is yours, and also Mark. Say a bit hi to Colombia, to the channel, to wherever you want. Tell your social media so people can follow you, and tell us about the next project, the one project that you want to tell. The camera is yours. For us, it's a dream come true. It's an honor.
Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. So what's the best film festival in Colombia?
The most famous is the FITSI, is the International Film Festival for Cartagena. But in fact, I am working on a film festival for myself here in Colombia and Venezuela. But the most known one is, yes, the FITSI. And in fact, John is friend from the Bogo Horror Fest also. But what do you want to know, man? Tell us.
Film Festival.
So Mark and I will enter the film. When's the film festival? What month?
Okay, wait. The movie that you are making deal with something about fantastic cinema or horror, because I run a movie festival about those genres and I can talk with the directors. But the one from Cartagena, John, ¿sabes cuándo es el Festival de Cine de Cartagena? Voy a averiguar.
No. Dile que.
O el Borro Fest. Okay, the one that I'm working is every November. In fact, this November we start. The Bogo Horror Fest is on October.
El festival del 26 a 30 de octubre.
And on December. No, okay. El Cartagena, the one for Cartagena. Let me tell you something. The one from Cartagena has become like some kind of elite. It's so elitist. So we run out more for the smaller ones. But you asked me, so I will tell you. The one for Cartagena is yes. I'm finding the data because Okay, where is the FITSI? The FITSI is every March, the 16 March and 21 March.
Ya si
All
necesita.
But
Yes, continue.
We're gonna
Yes,
figure out. We're gonna figure out what festival we need to enter, and then Mark and I will come to you and be in the festival.
Jhon dice que él va a averiguar qué festival entrar y él irá al festival. And anything you need about the other one, the festival that I'm working, El Grito, or the Bogor Fest, reach to Jhon and I will do the magic. But yes, the one for Cartagena is on March and you deserve to be there. In fact, you deserve to be one of the special guests. I don't know what is going, what are they thinking, the one for Cartagena, please. Invite Daniel Baldwin. Jhon, tienes que decirles que inviten a Daniel Baldwin al Festival de Cine Cartagena.
Yes.
No sé cómo. I don't know how Jhon will do it, but I know that Jhon, we are now a small channel, but I believe in my friend, and I know that Jhon will be great. And in fact, I believe in Jhon. When he told me that you will be there, I was like, I know, man, because you can do miracles. So I know he will be big, man. Thank you for being part of this journey. But I don't know the picture. We take a picture.
Yes. Save it the moment, please.
All right, boys.
No, thank you. Wow.
One moment.
One moment. Otra.
Por último, saluda al canal y para Colombia como despedida.
Yes. As a final, Daniel, the camera is yours. Say a big hi to Colombia or to the channel.
Hello to my friends in Colombia. Watch out. Mark.
What?
Wait. Hello to my friends in Colombia.
Hello to my friends in Colombia.
Watch out. Mark and I are coming soon.
Hey.
¿Quién es más macho?
Very macho. Very. In fact, I want to tell you something.
Esto lo voy a poner como fragmento.
In Cartagena, there is the story of the macho man. Do you know this story, or do you want me to tell it? I will tell you. It's so crazy, man. It's one of the most crazy stories in Colombia. One day, a woman appeared with a big belly, and she said that she was expecting nine kids. So they told that his boyfriend was the macho man, and he was posing in the newspapers as macho man. In fact, talking about the truth of the news. Later, they found out, the doctors, that she was holding yes, it was a fake belly. It was a fake belly. So they started calling that he was not macho man. He was like macho no, or you are not macho. No, it was so crazy, man. The man had to hide himself because his woman was lying about the big belly. It's one of the most famous histories in Colombia, man. So that, I think that's an answer about how real are the news, man. Then the newspapers, they were publishing, oh, she's expecting 9 kids. That man is a macho man, and they also, the newspaper had to hide their head. No, we don't publish that. No.
Oh man.
No. Oh no!
Hi. Come on. My daughter Avis is acting her first movie.
She's in the movie.
Hi.
Hi, tell us about your role in this movie.
You're on a live
Yeah, I am.
Yes. Tell me.
Tell about your character.
We
I'm
need
playing
to
Julie.
take another picture.
Wait, I can't hear them.
They want to take another picture. They have a translator.
Oh.
It's in Spanish. It's in Colombia.
Oh, that's cool.
No, but tell us about your character. Tell us about your character.
I play Julie, and it's just like a smaller role, but I've been practicing my lines, and I like the character. I don't know. It's fun.
Yes.
There you go.
Thank you.
Avis
Daniel.
Baldwin.
De gracias por la oportunidad. God bless you many. Support.
No, thank you so much. And in
You know
fact,
what
tell us.
You know what I'm going to say at the end, right?
Yes.
Vaya con Dios, Slayer.
Vaya con Dios.
Bye bye, Daniel.
Bye,
Bye,
Daniel.
guys.
I see you.
Bye, Mark.
God bless you.
God bless.
God bless you.